Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Scream 6. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So, if you like me, you've been following the Scream franchise series for years. I never would have thought, as from the very first one I seen, and it's still going on in present day 2023, and still interesting enough to continue to watch. So they got real creative to keep that going, where you will sign up to watch another one. So let's just go over the two main characters. Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera, and Tara Carpenter, played as Jenna Ortega. And those are the two main characters that we'll be following. Gail came back for this one, Sydney didn't. So it started off, it jumps right into, true to form, every Scream franchise starts off within the first 10 minutes of the movie with a killing. So you got this professor, she's a associate professor at a college, and she's supposed to be on, like, I guess, a blind date. She gets a phone call, and the guy lures her out saying he's lost, told her come down to an alley, and she's trying to meet him, and she goes into a dark alley. Now the professor is a professor of teaching the class about slasher movies, day in the film and everything, and she goes down the alleyway. She gets killed. Now, what was different that kind of threw you off, the killer right off the bat took his mask off, put his mask and clothes in the bag, and walked off. So when he walked off, he blended right in. He lived right on campus. So he went home, and his partner, who he was with, was named Greg, and Greg called him. So right off the bat, now you say, okay, this is going to get interesting. It's the killer, the main killer. And so he's talking to him, tells him that he's looking on the camera system, and he can see him and everything, and pretty much told him, like, hey, follow me around the house. He looked in the kitchen, Greg was all cut up, so he knew he wasn't Greg. Then the killer came out and killed him. So meanwhile, Tara is on her way to the like a frat party on campus. Sam is the older sister, of course, that's like the protector. She has been going through therapy sessions, and she wouldn't open up. She's more focused on her sister. Finally, she opened up about everything, and the therapist pretty much said, this is too much for me to handle. This session is over. And then she said, this is why I don't open up, because she's the daughter of a serial killer, and they, have a feeling that this could be hereditary. So if she got the spirit of a serial killer, they need to report it. So from there, Tara ends up back at the house. When she's back at the house, Sam ends up back at the house. They got a roommate named Quinn. Quinn is there. She getting her groove on, tells her that Tara's out at a frat party. So when Tara heads to the frat party, when Sam heads to the frat party to go get Tara, Tara is there at the frat party with Mindy and Chad from Scream 5, from high school. So of course they all went to college together. So they're there, and Mindy has a girlfriend, and they're there to protect Tara, but Tara wants to get her groove on. Chad steps up, pretty much told the guy, like, you're not going to take her up there because, the guy's been known to date rape. So this is a year later from Scream 5. Sam shows up, true older sister form, to snatch Tara, and Tara back, basically bashes her like, you gotta let me go, you gotta let me live my life, you gotta allow me to make some mistakes. Tara rushes out, and Sam follows behind her. When Sam follows behind her, some college campus people threw soda on Sam, pretty much saying, hey, you're a killer. And so she's been dealing with that. People spreading rumors saying she was a killer, and the guy Richie, who was the killer in Scream 5, she pretty much provoked them and everything like that. So they went on to there, and when they ended up back at the house, Tara and Sam got into it, had it back and forth. Once they had it back and forth, it was a neighbor that they always see across the way that Sam had the looks for. Now you find out that Sam is messing with the neighbor, but she didn't want nobody to know. Now this is where this movie started off at a strong 3 to me. The killing was strong. The killings were strong. What would determine whether this was the outlaw is the plot. So campus receives an alert. Hey, there's been a killing. It's all over the news. And Tara's pretty much like, hey, this is just a coincidence. Sam automatically like, no, it's not. She's going into defense mode. Quinn gets a phone call. Quinn's dad is the lead detective on the case. He calls and pretty much tells Sam, hey, you a person of interest, you need to come down to the station. On their way down to the station, Sam gets a phone call. When it pops up, it says Richie. She never deleted his number on her phone. Richie gets the lead person talking or whatever. So when he's talking, he pops up on the street. They running. He chasing them. They run into the store. Now that's just on the trailer. You see him run to the store. You see the guy, the store owner, shooting and whatever. So this one was more lethal. He took the shotgun, blew the store owner head off. He just wasn't killing with the knife or whatever. So you went and had that or whatever. And so the cops showed up at that moment. And now we know the big thing. Cops had him under investigation, had him at the precinct the whole day. And now everything gets started. So Mindy sits everybody down, and so her girlfriend, Chad, Tara, Sarah, Ethan was like supposed to be like the innocent, the innocent virgin that's oddly weird, and then Quinn was basically like the promiscuous student. So they basically breaking down like they did at Scream 2. I forgot what that guy name was when he was breaking down and basically giving the rules of the horror slasher films or whatever, and basically saying in the new movies everybody could die, even the lead characters. So the killings start happening, everybody start getting, they all staying together at first. So they all at the house. The main four from Woodsbury, Sam, Tara, Mindy, and Chad basically said, we gotta stick together, we the four. Then you had Mindy's girlfriend, Quinn, and Ethan, or whatever. So Ethan was supposed to have had a study session. Now, like I said, Sam's the guy, the neighbor that was across the way. Now they all having this bond in the apartment. He's looking from his window. He sees the killer in Quinn's bedroom. Now, he's trying to get their attention by yelling. You would think he would throw something at the window. Now, that's where the film dropped to me to, it was a strong 3 up until that point, and that's when it dropped to 2.5 to me. That's because that was ridiculous. He was still just, hey, instead of just throwing something at the window. What's even worse after that, the killer sends all of them a text at the same time. When he sends them a text all at the same time, it pretty much showed that he's in Quinn's room. When they went to the door, Quinn came out running with blood all over, and she just dropped. So the killer's going berserk. He stabs Mindy's girlfriend and cut Mindy in the arm. Now it's all through the house. They just, trying to move their way out from getting stabbed. Tara and Chad ran out the house. Now, of course, you like, damn, Chad, you left your sister in there and so he just darted out the house, him and Tara. Left in the house was Mindy's girlfriend, Sam, and so the dude from across the way, he, in an apartment, he ironically had a ladder. He's still at the window, hey! So that's why I dropped. That was just ridiculous. He didn't get out, go call the cops. He didn't get out and run to the next building. He stayed there. Then all of a sudden, he magically had this long ladder in his apartment and put the ladder from his window over to their window. First, Sam got across from there, and then Mindy came next, and then Mindy's girlfriend said, I'm next. I'm coming right behind you. So when she got up on the ladder, the killer came through, shake the ladder till she fell off. She fell off from the ladder, banged her head. Then it's on. Next morning came, and the dad, like I said, Quinn was his daughter, so he came out crying. They said, we sorry that, this has happened or whatever. So Kirby from Scream 5, she came back. She got stabbed in Scream 5, so she came back. When she came back, she's now an FBI agent, and she's on the case. She's been following it, so it was weird that she came back. Now, Gail came back too. Tara punched Gail in the face because, Gail being messy as she always been. And so Gail pretty much was like, I did some recon. I found out the two goofs that was trying to mimic the stab killings, they had a warehouse somewhere where they had a shrine of all the killings, and they had police evidence of everything that took place. So from there, you don't know, well, what's going what. So now you looking at Quinn did, Mindy's girlfriend did, left is Ethan, Chad, Tara, Mindy, and Sam. Gail is still alive, Kirby, then you had the detective. That's the main people. So they get an idea, okay, let's flush the killer out, let's set them up. So ironically, they set them up. They all in the, they're all at the park, broad daylight, waiting for the killer to call. And of course, the killer does call. Now, they told Gail she can't be a part of it because she's depressed. She's with the press, so she goes home. When she goes home, the killer calls and basically said, y'all stupid? Y'all think I'm stupid that I would show up and let the cops get me or whatever? And they said, where is it being tracked to? West 96th Street. That's where Gail live at. So Gail is at the house with her and her boyfriend. Now you wonder, and this is where the story, that's why it remains at a 2.5 so far, because you're finding out like, okay, you're at the house, these people is magically getting in your homes, y'all got money, and now the killer's after Gail. They trying to call Gail, they don't get to call Gail because the killer jumps on the phone, talks to Gail. So now this is where at this scene, it's more than multiple killers. Somebody distracting Gail while the other killer is there. Now, the killer kills Gail's boyfriend like with ease. Like he was walking, he just got snatched, and he's husky dude, not over, and he doesn't mean because he husky he won't have no strength, but he just killed him with ease, tossed him like he wasn't nothing. Superhuman scream killer at this point. Gail picks up a fight. Of course, she gets to her gun, and she don't get nothing off, man. It just was ridiculous. And Gail gets stabbed pretty bad, and Sam and Tara came at right when Gail was get the finishing blow, and caught her, and then they finally come through with the ambulance. So now Gail is severely wounded, and she may or may not live. So she didn't die right there. She had a faint pulse. So you had from there, now you had left Mindy, Sam, Ethan, Tara, and Chad. They have the ideal. They're going to meet back up at the... and the dad got put off the case because he was too close because his daughter died. So the dad still want revenge. So they plot with the dad and Kirby, who's the FBI agent, basically plotting, saying, we're going to get the killer. We're going to kill this guy. So they're going to go back to the movie theater. And when they go back to the movie theater, it's only one. Kirby said, we're going to lock ourselves in. It's only one way in and one way out. It's only one gun, and I'm the one that has it. So those eyes just look real stupid. So on their way there, they go and catch the train. So this is the scene that you see on the trailer with the train. So when, and the boyfriend that Sam was messing, he was hanging with them up until this point as well. So everybody get on the train except Ethan and Mindy. Somehow they got split with the traffic. It's Halloween, people with masks on and stuff. So they in two separate subways. So you got Sam, Tara, Chad, and Sam's boyfriend that was the neighbor on one train, and you got Ethan and Mindy on the next. Now, Mindy was always looking at Ethan as like, you the virgin, innocent kid, you suspect. And she kept looking at him the whole ride. He looking at her, looking real. Now he had this weird look on his face or whatever. So you like, he's suspect. So eventually, she couldn't see him no more in the fold of everybody moving around. And it got real dark on the train. That's when he went up and the killer went and stabbed her. Then Ethan came, once he seen her wounded, and ran up to her and pretty much said, hey, get help. So Mindy didn't die. She got help. She got stabbed pretty good. They got her to the hospital. So it fast forward to the scene where they made it to the theater. Sam's boyfriend, he pretty much told her, hey, don't trust nobody. So they told her, this is Woodsbury, so you can't go into the theater. So when they did get in the theater, that's why Kirby locked them all in. But right when they got in, the detective called and said Kirby was fired, and said she was pretty much fired about a month or so ago, and she was going crazy. So now they looking at Kirby as being suspect, but how did Kirby was doing all that strength? So it's more than multiple killers. So they looking for Kirby, and Sam is there with Tara and Chad. Tara and Chad is off in the theater having their little love moment right there, and Sam is off trying to find where Kirby is. So now this is where you see it's multiple killers. They come out and they end up double teaming Chad, stab him all up. Tara's upset. Sam came and grabbed Tara, and then Kirby pops out of nowhere. She's all bruised and whatever. She got her gun out, and then the cop detective, so I don't know where he came from or how he got in there, but he was in there already, and then he had his gun, and then he pretty much said that, hey, Kirby's the bad person. Kirby saying no, he is. So they both shot, and he pretty much shot Kirby. Now you thinking, when you see the cops start laughing with this crazy laugh, you say, oh wow, the cop is in on it. So the detective, he's in on it. You find out Ethan is one killer, and then when you find out who the other killer is, Quinn. So Quinn didn't actually die early in the film, and so she was alive. And you find out that the dad, that's his kids. Quinn and Ethan is the dad's kid. So this where it stays at the 2.5, because that was a cool plot twist. And then when you think back in the different moments in the film, you always had Ethan being suspect, but you really didn't kind of see that the dad was in on it. So you find out that Richie from part 5 was the dad's oldest son, and they want revenge. So that's why they put all this together to get back at Tara and Sam. And now the last stand is them. The dad got a gun. Both of the kids got knives, and they fight for their lives. And Kirby came back out, and she helped diverge. And so now everybody's trying to fight each other. So what ended up happening after everything is Tara ended up stabbing up Ethan, and then stabbed him in his mouth, twisted the knife. Sam ended up shooting Quinn in the head. So now the cop had both of his kids dead. All his kids dead now. Then it was this last scene where you got the cop, detective, and you have Sam. And Sam, she pissed on the screen mask, and she pissed on the screen robe, and then she comes out of nowhere, stabbing him up where he couldn't, stabbed him in so many places he couldn't move. So she's stabbing him up like her father. And then Tara came in and said, Sam, what you doing? She stopped. But then she was going to let him live. And she was like, I'm not like my father. And then she looked at Tara. Tara looked at her pretty much like, finish him off. And she did. She stabbed him in the eye. And that was the end of him. And then, of course, you find out that Chad, he ended up leaving. You know, they stabbed him up. He ended up living. Kirby ended up living. They find out Gail is still in the hospital. Then you had Mindy shows up. Hey, I know who the killer is. And she running everything. And they saying, and then they told her, yeah, Quinn was in on it too. And she like, Quinn? Like, yeah, she didn't die. So they going over everything, and that's pretty much the end of the film. Is it a post-credit scene? Yeah, it's just basically Mindy at the end, and she just comes out and say, every movie doesn't need a post-credit scene. And then that was just cool at the end. You don't got to wait to see that. Out of my 4-star rating system, I've already been saying it through the film, it's at a 2.5. Decent enough to watch. There will be a part 7, of course, because I'm pretty sure this movie going to do decent in the movie theater. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.